Dominika, you are from Slovakia originally, and then you got your PhD in Denmark, and now you're working in the
Yes.
Netherlands. Is that correct?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm really excited to have you on the host, and we did a little pre-interview before this, like I think 2 weeks ago, and I got very excited about all the discussion we already had there. So I'm looking very forward to this. This is going to be a pretty cool episode. So Dominika, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, what are you doing right now? How did you get into the food waste space in the first place?
Right now, I'm a postdoctoral researcher in the Technical University Delft in the Netherlands. But in the food waste, I got during my PhD. So during my master studies in Denmark, I come across algae and food waste in my lectures, and it was something interesting for me. And I got lucky that I got a PhD in food waste, because it was part of the big European project that wanted to contribute to how to decrease any kind of bio waste. And I really love the topic. I think that's the most important thing for me, that it was something that I really found interesting from the beginning. So it kind of stayed with me. And that's how also what researcher means, that you write papers and you try to talk with other scientists about how to solve the issues. And food waste was actually quite easy to talk about and easy to write about. I mean, it was complex, but it was easy because it just brings everything to the table.
Right.
Like all the environmental issues, technical issues, ethical issues, social issues. So it's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, and people, I would imagine people would care about food waste too. Like at least.
Yeah, and it's easy to talk to. Yeah, it's easy to talk to anyone when you talk about food waste.
Yeah, cool. So can you like explain for everyone who doesn't know what a postdoc is? I mean, I have 5 years of postdocs. So, but for everyone who doesn't know what a postdoc is, can you explain what a postdoc does?
I think it also depends on the country where you are from. I'm in Netherlands right now, but it's a natural step in academic career. So first you have your bachelor's, then you have your master's, then you got your PhD or doctorate. So we are doctors. I always tell people I'm doctor like Ross from Friends. I'm not a doctor, like, actual doctor. And then the next natural step, if you want to follow academic career, then you are a postdoctoral researcher. But you, in PhD, you write a thesis that you need to defend and present in order to get your doctorate, to become a doctor. And as a postdoctorate, you don't have to do that. You are basically a researcher. So
Right.
you are a researcher as any other senior researcher, but from what I understand and what is my position, but you are just called postdoctoral because you are after your doctorate.
Yeah. It's a cheap way to get a PhD level person to work.
Yes, exactly. It is very true. It is very true. Yeah, because postdoctorate don't need to do courses. They don't need to defend your thesis. They don't need to do anything. They just do the research that you need them to do. So mostly they do research and write papers, maybe supervise students, maybe a little bit of teaching. But yeah, they are the cheapest workers there are in academia.
Right. Yeah. So my understanding is also that you also teach a class or 2 classes. I don't know, what are the classes on?
Well, during my PhD, I mostly had guest lectures when they needed something on food waste. I also was part of Inforces and Essence. Those were like initiatives for small startups that had to deal with food waste. So then that was also a teaching. Here I was teaching sustainability for some project management construction projects because I'm in the geosciences faculty. And I was also part of the teaching team in Sustainable Cities course, which is a master course at Delft. So it's a bigger module with many teachers, not just me, but I'm responsible for the part in sustainability for the cities.
Yeah. So sustainability is like a keyword here too. It's becoming, I feel like always,
Yes.
America is a little bit behind what's happening in Europe on that realm, at least, so, and but it has been a keyword here for a while now, and at least in my field, a lot of people go now into sustainable farming or agroecology, And so, what do you teach in your sustainability class? So, what's sustainability to you? Because I always like I have this discussion with a lot of people. Not you're not the only one. So
Yeah,
but everyone has a different answer to that at the moment.
yeah, that's I think that's a tricky thing that sustainability doesn't have any definition. So it's not like you can say, oh, if you do A, B, C, D, then everything is sustainable. That's it.
Hmm.
But for me, and I recently wrote a blog about it for Erasmus University, I think sustainability has first of all become a buzzword. I think it's lost most of its meaning, because it's often used as synonym of something. In science, in businesses, it's used in marketing, it's everywhere in media, because if we see that it's called sustainable, then we assume it's better. So it's kind of new era of sustainability washing, something
Yeah.
similar to greenwashing. And for me, um, well, first of all, we know sustainability has three dimensions or three pillars. What people call it: people, planet, and profit, or
Hmm.
you can call it sociosphere, biosphere, and econosphere. So we have three elements, but then these three elements are approached differently in science. And what I come across, and then I invite anyone to Google that, or because there are very, very short articles on that you don't need to read all the science, but there are two approaches, and that is weak sustainability and strong sustainability. And I don't know if you ever heard about that.
No, no, I did not. Yeah. I
So
think
yeah,
I
I
think
came across it, and every time I ask it, no one heard about. Like very rarely, someone says, "Oh yeah, I know what it is." Even within scientific, like I don't know, conferences or when I meet someone.
no, I have
Yeah,
no
but
idea.
the
I mean,
yeah.
typically,
So
typically,
yeah.
if I talk about sustainability, it's like in the agriculture world, it's either used in the soil health context very often, so more
Mm-hmm.
like environmental, like sustainability, or it's used in like a mostly profit context, or it's used as a marketing tool.
Yeah,
So those are the three things that I mostly come across, like in my world, at least, like when we talk about sustainability. But I have never
yeah.
heard weak or
No,
strong.
then usually what we see, or when we see these three circles that are, we have three circles for economy, people, and biosphere, and they in the intersection of these three circles, if we have a Venn diagram, then you have sustainability. And most of the time, the definition that we use a lot is that sustainability or sustainable development means that we meet the needs of the present while not compromising the future generations. But I think this was from the 80s, and we
Mm.
have surpassed that. I don't think we can say now that the future is not compromised. I think we know that it's compromised. So it has been not working so well. Um, but there is another sustainability where you have all these three circles within each other. So you have in the corner, you have biosphere.
Mhm.
Then within that circle, you have social sphere. And then within that circle, in the middle, you have econosphere, you have economy. And it says already from the picture, logically, you can see, oh, there are connections. One depend on each other. So weak sustainability, because every circle is separate, you can
Mhm.
say they have two capitals. They have natural capital and they have manufactured capital. So what we can create, and they say these things are equal. So it's okay if I destroy some parts of the nature if I somehow replace it with technological advances. If I replace the same function, so they treat them as this is something that is always going to be there. We can always substitute these two capitals, but in the strong sustainability, they say, oh no, we need to respect some part of the nature because we depend on nature, and nature provides you more than can be in economic terms. You cannot put everything in economic terms.
Mhm.
So that's why this distinction is not so popular, because strong sustainability is much more complex. And you cannot just put a simple goal that if we recycle more, or if we have more of, I don't know, bioresources, or if we have less waste, then immediately we are sustainable. You cannot do that because you need to also see, um, did I respect the nature? Did I protect it? Some part of critical natural capital. Easiest term to say is that if you look at a river,
Hmm.
Like, what does river do? And in normal sustainability, you could call, oh, I have hydro energy, so I have sustainable energy. But river does much more things, right? It has fish, it has biodiversity, maybe helps the water systems in the whole surrounding area. It helps some nutrients. It provides water to all the surrounding area. People can go there for recreation. For some people, it can have spiritual value. So really, it provides a lot of services to us,
Hmm.
not just
Hmm.
something that we can say, okay, this one thing that we can measure with economy. So that's a little bit of the differences between two.
Yeah,
So
but
for me, sustainable means if it's for people and for the environment and for the economy,
mhm.
not just one of them. So for me, this thing in 21st century saying environmental sustainability, it's bullshit. You said I can say something about worse words. But it is bullshit because there is nothing about environmental sustainability or social sustainability. It's like saying, now I'm buying, a product that is from recycled fabric, so I'm better, right?
Mhm.
Because I bought clothes from recycled. Yeah, but if the supply chain is unethical, am I creating something sustainable? Then it's not. Yeah. Then and if something is ethical but it's from bad materials, is it better? Then maybe it's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for the environment. So all of these elements need to be there for people, ethical supply chain, social for the people, and environmental and respecting the nature. Yeah, I think also when you are a scientist, you are also allowed opinion. That's why I also tell my students, like, this is, you think for yourself, because this is also my
Yep.
opinion that is shaped by things that I come across. I cannot read everything that is out there, and I cannot know about everything that is out there. So it's basically how I see things and what is my opinion based
Yep.
on what I know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, but yeah, it's funny that you mentioned all these technologies for food waste or for food production, because I would say that it depends a lot on local conditions or on what we need. So sometimes it is needed and sometimes it is not needed at all.
Mhm.
Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best solutions. Or I would say for me, one of the most sustainable things are permaculture, which is where you work with nature and you don't optimize everything for high yields,
Mhm.
because it keeps your surrounding nature the healthiest, and also the food that you have is highly nutritious. Of course, there are debates on that, because
Mhm.
you can debate with with the scientists that actually measure the nutritions,
Mhm.
and they say, okay, this is good. Anyway, like, I'm not against vertical farming. I think vertical farming is also something that people can try. It depends. There is no like one solution fits all.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
that's the difference. That's It's a little bit of that weak sustainability, strong sustainability, because weak sustainability is economy driven. So that means we try to look for solutions that we can apply everywhere. Copy paste and make some highly optimized
Mhm.
machine.
Mhm. Mhm.
And strong sustainability say, oh, you need to work with local conditions. You need to like look at your surroundings. You cannot just be a machine and just um, copy paste everything.
Yep.
So we need combinations of different solutions together.